Okay, what is wireframing, right? Wireframing is essentially before we have all the images, before we have the actual finished written text, we as designers work on the layout of the spread or the layout of the magazine article with placeholder boxes or placeholder information. I'm going to switch over to Safari really quick, and I just did a quick Google search, magazine spreads wireframing, and you can see here in Google Images, I'm going to click on this first one here just to give you an idea. These are little thumbnail sketches of sample magazine spreads, right? 2 columns of text, a heading, an image, a large image, and a caption. Here, a single column of text, an image, a title, an image that spreads across the spread, 2 columns, image, caption. Right? You can see different stuff here. I can scroll down and you can see different takes on this, including here, a finished magazine, full picture, caption. You can see the folio down here, title, subtitle, who the author was, columns of text, call outs, different stuff. So before you get all this information and all these pictures, you typically start with just this general kind of layout. All right, so what would that look like? Let's just run through one here. And let's say our opening spread. So we no longer want to be on our master. We now want to double click. And then I'm going to hold space bar just to center that again. We now want to be on our opening spread. I'm going to do an image that spreads across the two. When you are working on your own magazine spread, you're going to use something as a reference, create your own thumbnails, but just follow along with me just to get an idea for now. So we're creating some dummy areas where we would put images. Over here on our toolbar on the left, you can see rectangle frame tool. We're going to start with that. I'm going to come to my layers and work on the images layer. These are going to be our images first, and then we will add text later. So we want to make sure we're on the images layer. We can close that. I'm going to skip 3 rows down, including the gutter. I'm going to come all the way out to the bleed. We're going to have our image go all the way to the bleed, and this image is going to spread across our spread and then come down to the bottom margin, something like that. And I'm a little bit off here, so let me take my selection tool. Boom. While I'm at it, I'm noticing I forgot to move our folio information down. It is right where our text is going to be. So let's take a moment to fix that now that I just saw it. Let's come to pages. Actually, let's come to layers. Let's lock that. Open up our master elements. Select it. Come to pages. Come back up to master. Now I'm going to click on this on our folio box. All right. And what I want to do is we have our orientation, our reference point here. I want that to be dead center in the middle, top row like that. And I want this box to move from the reference point at the top. What I mean by that is we've been doing math all along, right? On our y-axis, our leading is 11. And I want it to be more than a single line. I want it to be line and a half. So 11 and half of 11 is 5.5. So we want to do plus 16.5. And you can just type plus and InDesign will do the math. Boom. Now you notice that it moved our folio down exactly how we wanted it. 1.5 of the lead spacing. Like I said, layout people, they're kind of crazy. They're very specific on this type of stuff. I'm going to go back to my A pages here, pages 2 and 3. I'm going to come back to layers, lock master elements, unlock images, and open it up and close that out. Hold my space bar and move this over. So now we have more room. This green box is our first placeholder image. Let's go to the next page. Actually, next spread like that. Let me bring this back. We want to be doing spreads and not pages. So let's go up to page. There we go. And on this one, let's do something else. Let's Command Tab over. Let me think. Let me look at some examples here. Get some inspiration. All right, we can do on the second page. Let's take our rectangle tool. Let's start here at the top in our bleed, and we're going to add an image over like that. All right, we're going to have an image there. We can put a caption here, some columns of text here. Then maybe we'll have another column over there. Let's go to the right of the gutter, and let's have a series of images. I'm going to keep this one in the margin. I'm going to take my selection tool now, and then I want similar size images. So I'm going to option drag, hold in option, I'm dragging that down, and then shift on the keyboard, and then I am going to skip that gutter right there. And we're going to have two images like that. Now let's go to pages. Let's go here to 6 and 7. We can close this up, do some wireframing. How might we like some images here? Maybe we'll have some text there, and we'll have an image, something like this, to the margin, and then selection tool, V on the keyboard, option drag down, and we're going to have another image like that. Over here, let's finish off with a big strong image across. It's going to come at our margin, going to come all the way to the outside of the page, and then let's have it come down something like that. Next up, let's go to pages, come back to 2 and 3. We're going to switch our layers, lock our images, come up to text, unlock that. Let's do some wireframing with some text here. I'm going to take the rectangle frame tool. We can convert it to text later. And I'm going to put our heading in here just like this. Why is this red? Why is this green? Come under layers, you can see these little slivers of color right here, just to let you know what layer you're working on. Our text layer in my document is red. Maybe yours is a different color. Mine's red, images are green. That's why those boxes are different colors. But right now I'm going to have a heading up there. Now, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to put it over there. I think let's put it here and overlap the image a little bit. So I'm just going to move it down. This will be a text box overlapping our image. We might have some empty space up there. Let's come over to pages, and pages 2 and 3. Let's do wireframe. Right below the gutter here, separating it. Go down to the bottom margin. We're going to come across like that. And while that is still active, I hit the right arrow to make 2 columns. And I'm going to move it over like that. Let's do 2 columns to the margin. So I have 2 columns like that. What I did is I was dragging it out. I hit the right arrow key, and that gave me an extra wireframe. Here I have two pictures here. So I'm going to come up. I'm going to drag one long column all the way down like this to the margin. And I probably should do that here. That was bad of me not to bring it all the way down. All right, so we fixed that. Long column there. And then while we're at it, let's take wireframe. We'll put a caption box over here so we can caption what's in this image. And then we can maybe throw another little caption box down here, something like that. We can move it later, just giving us a rough layout, kind of making it up as I go. Type tool, whoop, not type tool. Wireframing tool. Let's come over. Another long column here. We'll go all the way down. And then we will finish up with column across there. Right arrow to make it 2. And let's stretch that out margin to margin like that. I know it seems kind of complicated. Why did I pick what I did? I don't know. I just kind of looked at it and thought, hey, we have some pictures, some text. This is why you research some spreads beforehand and you sketch them out with thumbnails and then you follow that as you create it. And you can see here in our previews it looks like all kinds of a mess, but it'll make a little more sense once we put some dummy text and some images in. But that gets our layout started for now. We haven't saved in a while, so let's go ahead and save. We've been doing lots of work. We should have saved earlier. My fault. Got too busy making the tutorials. So Command S to save. I'm going to save mine. You should save yours in Google Drive. I'm going to save mine to the desktop just for the purposes of the tutorial. But save yours into a new folder in your Google Drive called Magazine Spread.